mCLASS Intervention Summer Program is a teacher-led program that targets students' foundational skills in small groups for 30 minutes daily, and our approach saves you valuable preparation time in the process. Here you're going to find the tools to determine how to place your students into groups and lesson sets for up to 8 weeks of instruction. I'll give you a quick tour of the resources available to you on this site so that you can start using the program with your students right away. First, you're going to want to place your students into a group for their grade level. The grade bands up top refer to the grade level students have just finished this spring. Click on the grade band you wish to group first. Your first option for placement is using your end-of-year or EOY DIBEL scores. Let's use second grade as an example. Open mCLASS and navigate to your students' scores. Begin with the measure on the left of the table and proceed through the columns to the right. The group to assign is shown in the far right column. For example, my student Olivia's EOY DIBEL score showed that she scored well below benchmark or in the red in nonsense word fluency correct letter sounds. And she also scored well below the benchmark in nonsense word fluency words recoded correctly, so she would be placed in Group C. Another student, Evan, scored at below benchmark in nonsense word fluency, mCLASS, and at benchmark in nonsense word fluency, words recoded correctly, so he is placed in Group E. Your second option for placement is to use another literacy data source, ideally gathered within the last month. Consider the student profiles here on the left and match students to the group letter assigned to this profile. Read the group skills description at the far right to confirm this is the right placement. For example, I read through the profiles and find that this one, students may know some but not all of their letter sounds and need review and reinforcement in letter sound relationships. I confirm this is a good fit by seeing the description. In this group, students will work on letter sounds and sounding out and blending words. I know now that this student belongs in Group C. Your third option for placement is to use our entry point measures to screen students. If you do not have recent student data, you will administer and score a quick set of entry point measures to determine the group that best meets your students' needs. Here are the steps you will use. You will print out one copy of the directions. You will print out the student record form for scoring these results. You will print as many copies as you have students. We suggest you print these double-sided. You will also print out the student materials. Then you will administer the student assessments one by one. You will use the student record form to record your results. So here you'll ask the question, this is what you're listening for, and then you'll indicate 1 point if correct. You'll put your total points right here. Please follow the directions at the end of each table. Once you have all of your scores, you're going to enter them right here on the first page. How many out of the total? On your direction sheet on page 2, you will see a scoring table. You'll take your student results and determine if the score shows that this skill is secure. Yes, the score was between 7 and 10 points for phonological awareness. No, if it's between 0 and 6 points. On your student record form, you'll circle yes or no based on the scores. On your directions, you'll come down to the grouping table. Based on how students scored, you'll then follow the flowchart through. So if I have a student who was not secure at part 1, they moved on to part 3, and they were secure, then they would be placed in group B. Now that you know how to assign students to groups, you'll go back to the summer program site, find your grade level, scroll down, and here in the lessons table, you'll find the group with your 4 lesson sets. We've provided the scope and sequence for these lessons as well. Each lesson set will be used across 2 weeks or 10 days of instruction. Please start with lesson set 1 and work your way forward within the group for as many days as you have summer school. Now that you know which groups you're going to assign your students to, you need to access the materials for your lessons. The lesson set begins with a 10-day overview of what materials you will need on each day. The next page lists out the activities that will happen on each day of intervention, listed A, B, C, D, and E. And you can see here, starting on page 3, your activities will begin. You can see up here, day 1, activity A, and then right here, activity B. Easy as that. The structure of an intervention lesson is very consistent. Up here, you'll see the title as well as the goal for the activity. You'll see right here, in a nutshell, how long it should take and the overall sense of what the activity is about. You'll have your materials listed over here and what to prepare ahead of time. We always follow the model practice format. The I do, the we do, then the you do. Over here, you'll see support and challenge activity suggestions for those students in your group who may need more support or more challenge. Let's find the materials we need for lessons. I can see here that the activities on day 1 don't require anything except for a board to write on and a letter card, A or an index card. I can look over here and I need to get some regular word cards. So these are the VC, CVC cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my intervention. I'm going to click here on Materials for Lessons. And I know that I'm working on letter sounds and sounding out and blending. This happens to be a sounding out and blending activity. So I'm going to look here and I'm going to look for my VC and CVC cards. And I can see here that I have some cards. I can print out the cards that I need. There are a lot of pages here, so I'll only print out the ones I need. If I don't want to do this, I could also write the words onto an index card. Please remember to write them in lowercase letters. You may also see materials referenced to the Burst digital cards. In that case, you'll go to burst.amplify.com and you're going to look for the regular word cards for this activity, Who's Got It? So I'm going to click on here, regular word cards, and I'm looking for the Who's Got It sounding out accuracy. I can click here, and then I'm going to find the sequence of cards that are needed for this activity. And I have the cards right here. And if I'm teaching remotely, or if I'm using an iPad, the students can access the card right here, or I could hold it up in front of them using an iPad or a laptop. Your school or district may have bought intervention kits, and if so, you'll have all the materials in there to run your lessons. Even if you don't have the kits, you can assemble the materials you need from this Materials for Lessons link. And from here, you can print out the cards and store them in an organized way for your lesson delivery. Our tremendous team of pedagogical support agents are available to you by email, phone, or chat. Here is how to be in touch. Thanks so much for watching. We look forward to a great summer of support for you and your students.